People have lost their lives as a result of this struggle. But there is no struggle that is easy. And even in countries where we've had negotiated peace, it didn't mean that people didn't die. It didn't mean that those people didn't commit treason, you know? So it's just like saying because the Niger Delta militants sabotaged Nigeria so many times, even caused the loss of lives, that there should not be amnesty program. But we came up with amnesty program. Some people felt, oh, that was rewarding evildoers, rewarding violence. But at the end of the day, Nigeria's oil output increased. Because what they were doing to us at that time was terrible. But the oil output increased as a result of the Niger Delta militants stopping their campaign at that time, stopping their acts of violence against Nigeria's oil installations. So it's a matter of looking at your interest in the whole thing. Can the release of Nnamdi Kanu bring peace to the Southeast? If the government is convinced that it will bring peace, of course, government will be willing to negotiate, because peace in the Southeast is very, very important, I'm sure, to Mr. President. If we keep looking at what Nnamdi Kanu did, honestly, nobody will want him to be released, because it's still fresh in people's memories. Some of what Nnamdi Kanu instigated, especially during the NSAS crisis. So people have not forgotten. Those audio clips are amongst the evidence that the federal government has brought against him to say, yes, you may have won the case against us about the way you were unlawfully brought to Nigeria to face trial against international law, against international convention. But you have committed treason against your country, and the facts are there. You set up a radio station, you push people to violence, you cause the deaths of people. For that reason, you have a case to answer. You must continue your trial at the Federal High Court before Justice Binta Muritala Yaku. The Supreme Court affirmed that. So, but as I've said, even in wars where people kill themselves for decades, they still will come around they sit at the round table and find peace. Israel and Egypt killed one another for years. Egypt was not even perhaps, the most formidable enemy of Israel in the whole of the Middle East. But at the end of the day, they came together. That was the Camp David Accord. They came together, and both countries have stopped fighting one another since then. So if Egypt was thinking about how many of their troops the Israelis killed during the Yom Kippur War, for example, or if Israel was thinking about how many of their troops the Egyptians killed, I'm sure they will not want to agree to this negotiated settlement. But today, both countries are at peace with one another because they decided to settle their differences without a resort to military campaign against one another. Military action. So for me, yes, Nnamdi Kanu did many terrible things against his country. But if he will agree to condition, I'm not saying release him. It will be irresponsible of me to simply say release him. We can only release him, or the government can only release him if he agrees to conditions laid down by the government. That is the way it is done.
Yeah.